All right, we're just going to keep on going. This is the next video, but we're just going to keep on moving. Dan has done his 50 trade orb challenge, and he did a great job of doing it pure. But then there's something that he realized in being able to step back and look at these 50 trades objectively and not be overly emotionally invested. And he made some changes, and his trading has definitely, taken a turn for the better. So we want to kind of discuss that with everybody, man. So yeah, man, hit it off, dude.
Yeah. So looking at what we've done so far, I went through, did the pure orb, which I'm just trading right out of the New York Open 5 minute candle, right? And so here's our 5 minute candle right here. And you can actually, let me bring all this down and this over. You see that better. Here's our 5 minute candle right here. Here's our top and our bottom of our range, those red lines. And anytime we generate a fair value gap on the 1 minute after 9:35, I go ahead and take the trade, right? So something interesting that
Easy.
I realized, yeah, exactly. Now, if we're not too, if we don't get too far away, honestly, actually, this is one I probably should have moved my stop to. What I discovered is if we're gonna hit like 1R, and then invert a fair value gap with displacement, that I generally try. I don't get it every time, but I try as often as I can to move to break even, right?
So these are the new rules that you came up with after the first 50.
Yeah, I realize that once I surpassed 1R, and so if I'm risking 130, as soon as I'm 130 something up, and then if I have some displacement coming this way, I need to see that I'm inverting a fair value gap coming back. So it shows displacement back to my entry or my stop, right? That I was moving to break even, because I noticed pretty much every time it would come back and get my stop when I saw that displacement really come back aggressively on
Right.
me, right? And so that's one thing I added. And instead of losing then somewhere between around 150 every trade, and some of those would be break evens, right?
Okay, sure.
Day. Which is a huge win, because say actually if I did that properly today, I was a little distracted. But we actually had displacement back on this fair value gap. So if I had moved to break even here, this fair value gap was really, really close to
Mm-hmm.
where that's why I kind of missed it. Same thing for here, right? It really came down quick, and then I was like, well, then it hovered here, and then it came and got the stop. So, but I don't really have really good displacement out. But I generally am trying to move to break even as often as I can, when I see it invert a actual like pretty solid displacement back to my stop
Sure.
after 1R. So that's one thing I added. The second thing is, once I hit 2R, I need displacement through 2R. But once I hit, for example, on this one, if let me just grab this long position and throw this in, because we actually just entered this orb. This is live, by the way,
Yeah,
which
on
is
a
kind
bank
of cool.
holiday, I'm just gonna throw that out
On a
there.
bank call, and just we're just trading anyway.
Yes, we are.
It's probably just gonna hover right in here and just
Yeah,
consolidate the whole morning, but that's okay.
that's
Um,
okay.
so so this would be 2R. So if I get some displacement through the top of this guy, and I
Mm-hmm.
get some sort of a fair gap, I am actually going to move and trail that fair value gap, and I'm just going to get
Okay.
rid of this take profit, right? Or, and what I'll often do actually is I'll look out, I'll just look for some target that's like pretty extreme, but that makes sense. Like, here's a 4 hour fair value gap. Well, we tend to fill these, and man, have I often see them stop on some sort of a low, right? And
Sure.
hang out and do whatever else. So I was like, oh, well, there's a decent spot. The probability of it getting up there, today probably zero, with it being a bank holiday. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
hey, you know,
But there
what
are
this does
days
also,
that we watch it move 100 points.
it does, it happens. So,
Yes.
and that you want to leave room for that. And what I found that I needed to leave room. So when I get this displacement, I'll trail behind fair value gaps. And then if it comes back and gets me, fine. I made above 2R on my trade. If it keeps running and just really goes, I had one really going. We got 6R, and then the next day I got like 4.5R. I was up 10R and like 10 times my risk in 2 days.
Right,
Is
right.
amazing. And so just adding those two to this game, right? So you see here, like, you kind of hovering around. Here's the orb being pure, and then I got a little win streak, and And then, I've really was able to ramp up in some cases, through some losing streaks right out of them and just make a new high constantly because of this. It's pretty incredible because you'll be behind, get maybe 6 or 7 losses,
Right.
and then you get a win 1 to 3, 1 to 4, and then a win run to 6 or 1 to 8, and all of a sudden your account has grown significantly, right? And that's the beauty of this strategy. But that's the additional rule that I've added. And one thing about managing the risk on the entry, I don't like to go over 150 as best I can. It's very important to keep that risk super consistent. I cannot stress that I cannot stress that more. Because if you're risking somewhere between 180 and 200 and your ceiling is really 150, well, and you get through a couple streaks, it could kill you really slowly actually. And you'll notice all of a sudden you've lost an extra 800 or $1,000 that you should never have lost, right? So that
Right,
risk is
right,
very
right.
important. So in a situation like this, look, I'm only able to risk 130, which is actually kind of light. I do want to be close to 150, as close as I can get, but I can't add a contract now. However, if I don't see any good displacement up, I never hit 1R and it comes back in and it plays around in here, down near my stop. Well, as we get close to my stop, I'm going to add a few more contracts to get close to 150. Many times I've seen it get close to this stop because, right, here's the liquidity and here's our stop. So likely, many times I've seen it reject off of this fair value gap, right? And then move up or the reverse, right?
Right.
And so adding those, waiting to add those contracts to not all now, if I added all three, I'd be in 165 and I wouldn't be able to touch it. I just have to let it go, right? Now I have room to make my position more advantageous. It's going to bring my average cost down. It's going to give me more contracts. It's going to magnify my reward. Why not do that? And it's incredible that you're just managing risk. So it's totally, you're like, I want to get my stop as close to 150 as possible. I want to add more contracts if I get the opportunity. If I don't see any real good displacement, which there isn't, I haven't hit 1R, I'm going to add and let it come out. And that's been incredibly helpful as well because when those win, it is amazing. Especially if you get to trail one of those, oh my goodness, you make far more than you ever could have imagined,
Yeah, right.
And so those are my three new sort of management practices. I'm adding when I retrace and leaving some room, naturally often leaving room, right? And then trailing after displacement through 2R, and then when I get a retracement, once I hit above 1R, when I get a aggressive retracement back to my entry, I'll move to break even. So those three things increase my profitability significantly.
Yeah.
And you can see it clearly when you trade 50 trades in a row and you can't touch it. Really gives you an inclination as to what is actually happening and what you could do to manage just your risk just a little bit better and to manage taking your reward a little bit better, right?
Yes. Yes. And if you mind, I'm gonna if you stop sharing for a second, I want to share. I want to
Yeah.
I want to show exactly what you're talking about because I specifically remember this day. Okay. There we go. I'm just gonna check the recording. I think we lost him for a second. He'll be back. Okay.
I should be here.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna try and keep this running. It wants to pause my screen um, to do whatever it's doing. Are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here. Can you hear me okay?
Excellent. Yep. I'm just gonna go ahead and go, and then I'll get our cameras back up and everything. But I got the two trades on here that me and you did the other day, right? And this was we were on the call, and we got this orb. It was a little late. It was supposed to technically be back here, but this was the orb we entered on. This fair value gap set up right here, and this was my 1 to 3. And because mine was like actually I was playing with an algorithmic tool, my 1 to 3 was stuck, right? Remember that. And I was like, and we were both talking about how potentially we could really move today, right? Like we were like, dude, the market could really move. And so I was like, if I could, I would move this out, right? But I was playing with an automated tool, so I couldn't move my take profit. So it came down, boop, it hit me and like immediately sold mine out. And I remember you holding yours, right? And that was the
Mhm.
day you ended up with a little bit over a 1 to 6.
Yeah.
So, like when you're able to manage a trade to do this, even if it's just 1 or 2 times a month, and you can cover 6 losses, I really think a lot of times people don't understand how much that actually tips the scales on the spreadsheet for your data. It's huge. When you just do that a couple of times, so when you're able to turn a negative into a break even or a 1R without like giving up profit or without having that discipline to hold the trade when you need to, kind of thing, it makes a significant difference. Um, so I want to encourage everybody. And the reason why you could see these things and why we saw these things is because we did the initial challenge of doing it pure, and we could have a completely non-emotional, objective perspective into the trades and into the market and things like that. So I highly recommend this challenge to people seriously. Like for real, take it and let me know how it goes. But I'll give you the reins back, man. If you want to go ahead and share a screen and maybe we could look at your profits one more time, just to
Yeah,
see,
absolutely.
kind of like show people, win streaks and loss streaks, and it happens. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. When you look at someone's portfolio, it's going to go up and down. It's going to look like the market, hopefully, during a bull run, where it's going to have healthy
Yeah.
retracements and things.
And you look around and there's actually, there's a lot of flashy traders that tout a very high win rate and this and that, right? Um, but in the same sense, there's also a lot of people that just hang out and make money trading, right? And
Yes.
a lot of those guys, I and girls, a lot of them, everybody that just kind of hangs out and trades. I mean, most of them just have a kind of a standard model they trade, nice low win rate. The rewards a little significantly better than their risk, and that's it, right? And it's not super flashy, but you can see over time this is exponential growth, right?
Yeah.
If you're able to make it through losing streaks, anyone that's ever traded combines and gone in heavy and tried to get funded quickly and tried to get payouts quickly, you can successfully do it with a lot of models out there, and you lose accounts, right? It's fine. Um, but you don't have this kind of consistency, right? When I get through this losing streak that's held me at break even,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, a losing streak holding me at break even, that's when you know you got something that's working. Um, right? I'll get another win streak and another one, right? And then
Yes.
this combine will be funded. And then I will continue on. Once I get about 6K up, I can actually double my risk to 300. So now my wins are going to be 900 plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that we have exponential growth on the dollar amount on this account, right? And all it takes is patience and good risk management. And this strategy will really open your eyes on how to do that, how to be a patient trader. There's that quote. I always thought it was hilarious. I think it was Warren Buffett. He said, the stock market is a tool for taking money from the impatient and giving it to the patient,
That's
right?
so true.
And that is
That's
exactly
so
what this
true.
strategy
Oh my
do. That
word.
truth, in my
Yeah.
portfolio management and stuff that I've done, it is the patient, very but diligent when you're doing portfolios, you do your research and stuff, right? Understand that you're buying things that have a serious impact in reality. This strategy works no differently. We're finding a sort of very concise method to constrain your circumstantial risk to a model, constrain your dollar amount risk to a certain amount, and your time risk in the market. And then you're just trading it every day the same way all the time. And the account grows. And there you go. But yeah, we're super excited to share this with everybody. We have been looking for um, models that are replicable and teachable. So it helps
Yes.
traders grow an intuition. We can't teach you an intuition. No one can teach you an intuition. The best traders in the world, you could sit with them live and fail completely for years because you can't be taught an intuition. You have to grow it yourself by going through and trading and understanding trading something that teaches you that this is a probability game. And there's all kinds of things you could do, but this is just a wonderful model that we found, um, that we encourage you to join us with. And I think it'll change your trading career for sure, and
Yep.
really open your eyes.
Yep, yep. And guys, down below, there's a link you can click to download the document for the Orb 50 Trade Challenge. You can take it on your own. I don't even ask for your email. Just go ahead and click it, download it. I hope it helps you. Go do it. Do it with some friends, whatever. If you want to join our Discord, there is a free section to our Discord. You can join. We'll talk with you. There's a lot of free education. There's other people in there, running this strategy and, working on their psychology. So it's a great place. But then we do have a VIP section. Okay. If you feel like you need a little bit more and you want to come live trade this with us, right? And you want to invest the time and effort into figuring out what you struggle with as a trader, that was the whole point of this thing, right? Was to take you through 50 trades, talk with you on what's going on. Why are you FOMOing, right? What kind of internal thoughts or internal lies is your brain telling you about trading that is just absolutely destroying you? And the reason why I know this is because it took multiple years and multiple mentors pointing out these things about me to where I could actually get to the point to make this profitable. And we want to return that. And that's why we have the program that we have. So feel free to click those links down below. And yeah, we really wish you guys the best. Share this video out to somebody you think will help. Dan, thank you again, man. We'll have to make even some more videos. You're just
Yeah,
awesome to have on. And by the
man.
way, Dan is in the live stream, guys. He is in there with me. We do this together. That's just the only way to get this done is together.
Yep. Oh man, it's been a huge blessing, and thank you, man. It's like you found you. We've been looking for just ways to train people, and then you challenged me to take this, and I was like feeling pretty comfortable in what I was doing. But I was still trying to over control everything and trying to be a winner in a sense, right? Trying to be a profitable trader, and the goal was winning, and I didn't understand the probability game really deep down. In the front of my mind, you would ask me, I would have been like, "Yeah, it's a probability game, of course. Everybody knows that." But I didn't really understand. So, and thank you. It's definitely
Absolutely.
changed my whole approach. And
That's what I'm talking about.
every day is dramatic. I mean, just it's like some window's been open that I just didn't know was there. It's incredible. So thank you, man.
You got it. Awesome, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.